Good evening, everyone, and we are back with another facilitation session. This is a competitive activity, but also a learning space. Observe what works, note what doesn't, and borrow ideas ethically. Growth and mastery can coexist. Let's begin. Today, we have Dipali Goyal with us, who is going to take us into a very thoughtful and insightful journey on observation versus assumption. Yes, a very ongoing thought that keeps on, it's a very ongoing, how do I put it, thought that happens at work and personally also. Yes, over to you, Dipali.
Thank you so much, Radhika. Good evening, everyone. So, how's the Josh? Great,
Hi.
great, great. So,
Very high.
today morning, when I just got up, I just drew the curtains, observed the sky. It was overcast with clouds. And immediately I assumed it's going to rain heavily. It's really going to rain heavily. And it did not rain. So, this was a case which happened right in front of my eye, where my observation and assumption did not fall on the same page. Does it happen with us often? I do think so. It does happen. At workplaces, I'm eagerly waiting for a reply on an email which is actually holding my work, and the person doesn't reply. I start cooking stories. I am of least importance. The person doesn't want me to like fulfill my deadline. All that. We just create stories. Whereas a simple thought that the person may be occupied somewhere can put all these stories to rest. But no, as far as assumptions are concerned, we are the best content creators. You give us data in the form of observation, and we can interpret it in wildest of ways. We do have to remember one thing, that this creative freedom is only given while studying the poetry. We can interpret the poet in whatever way we want to, but as far as daily life is concerned, I feel that a little bit of assumption has to be reduced because it creates an unnecessary pressure. Does it cause a rift in the workplace? Yes, it does cause a rift in the workplace because it leads to so many differences. It is actually a breeding ground for a lack of clarity and differences. So I'll just walk you through this topic with the help of a Hindi movie called Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. So this movie, it why did I choose this movie? First of all, let me tell you this. I feel that the three characters of the movie, Kabir, Arjun, and Imran, they have been misjudged at some point of the time, or you know, it's a movie where every character has been misjudged. So these protagonists say they have a few characteristics which are with which you can identify them. So you can just visualize some of your colleagues or maybe your friends into, you can actually visualize them as these characters. So first of all is Arjun. Arjun is work driven. Then is Kabir. Kabir is image driven. And then Imran. Imran is humor driven. So I want your feedback in this. I just want your answers in this. So I'll just narrate one scene in front of you. So it is a scene where all these three friends, they are out on a trip, and the friends want to connect with each other on an emotional level, but Arjun is really busy checking his emails. Now, if such a person is there in your group, what are your assumptions? May I have your answers for this, please?
That he is not
Can you
interested in
repeat the
whatever we are
question?
saying.
Right. So he's not interested. The question is, Dipanshi, that if there is somebody with whom you are wanting to strike an emotional conversation, and that person is busy with his phone, so what is the assumption you make about that person? Observation is that he is busy with this. That is the observation. That is the data which you are seeing. Now, how do you interpret this kind of a behavior?
Sujata
That
says
was what my
rude.
question was. Yes, Sujata said rude. Yes, this is how we generally interpret these kinds of people, right? It seems disrespectful, absolutely, Rahila, right? But when you go deeper into the movie, it is revealed that this protagonist, Arjun, is suffering from financial insecurity and work is his safety net. Now, coming to the other character called Imran, who has jokes for almost every situation. Do you know of any such people who have jokes for every situation, good, bad, ugly, any situation they can crack a joke? I'm sure all of us, we do see such people, right? So sometimes the jokes they land well, and sometimes the jokes you are not very happy about the jokes. Yes, Sujata, you know about such kind of people, yes. But again, if you go deep down into the movie, so this person, Kabir, he doesn't want to talk about his father. He has this emotional distance from his father. Now, what is the reason for his humor? So, humor is a kind of an armor for him. It is his go-to safe place where he just wants to get rid of his woes, his fears, his insecurities by very cleverly shielding it in humor. So, dear trainers, it's not a very good idea to jump into assumptions just by mere observations. And I can tell you that if we do not jump onto conclusions, we do not cook stories, life would become much easier. I have a small activity for which I need your cooperation. So, this is a company, there's a new hire by the name of Ananya. So, it's her first day in the company. She just enters the workplace and she sees that the one gentleman, for the sake of convenience, let us call him Vikram, he enters the office without making any eye contact. On a horse blinder mode, he goes straight, sits on his table and chair, and starts working. May I know your assumption about such a person?
Is the assumption going to be in the process of Ananya? Sorry.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. From the point of
Perspective.
view of Ananya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would think of him to be a little, yeah, like Sujata says, arrogant.
Arrogance.
Yeah,
Arrogance, right. We do feel that such people are arrogant, right? They
yeah,
don't have any eye contact.
yeah.
So Anya is following him closely. So this guy, this person just goes and sits on his chair. And then he is looking into his screen. Okay, Dipanchi says he's not much friendly. Yes, absolutely. So this person, Vikram, he looks at his screen time and again, and often he looks at his screen and smiles. Now, what are your assumptions? Not your assumptions. What would Ananya be assuming?
Yeah, I mean, he's seeing something interesting or he's chatting with somebody interesting.
Exactly. We can assume anything that probably he's on a chat. He is into his own world. Yes, the Panchi. He is not probably interested in his work. Or maybe he's going across a job interview and he's finally cracked that job interview and he's very happy. Right?
My
We
first
can
thought
assume
was he
anything.
was my first thought was he was looking at a picture of his child. So many
Ah,
visuals.
right, right, right. Anything, it can be assumption of any kind, right? So then what happens is Ananya just happens to see that he is on a virtual meet and he unmutes himself and he says that, could you repeat what you said? What do you think Ananya must be thinking now? Well, maybe she feels that he is here just for the sake of being here. He's not interested in the meeting. She can assume anything. The assumptions can be endless.
Or he genuinely didn't listen to it.
Or maybe he's genuinely not listened to it, or maybe he has some official chat going on. So Ananya can assume anything, but the big reveal is that Vikram has come back after his paternity leave and he's had a newborn baby right now. As Radhika said, he was actually looking at the picture of his baby, and he was so preoccupied all these few days that he was overworked, and that was actually reflecting in his behavior. So it's not a very good idea to assume things on every observation. Whatever data we have been given, we have to process it with intelligence and most of the time stay away from negative assumptions. You know what Galileo once said? He said that facts first, theories later. That is what the scientists do. They check and recheck the facts and then formulate the theories. But we formulate our theories because we consider ourselves to be bigger than the scientists, right? So my takeaway, my one message to you would be that observe more, assume less. Thank you so much.
Wonderfully put, Dipali.
Lovely.
It
Thank
was
you,
a very,
Radhika.
very good session. It was a very engaging session. Really got the difference between what do you call whatever you were trying to point out. Over to your audience. Yes, Dipanshi.
Wonderful, Dipali. Thank you so much. I really like the way you narrate everything and how calmly and in like you take all of us in that particular situation. We assume that yes, we are in that situation, and that is really very nice. And your message was very clearly conveyed that we should assume less and observe more
Thank you so
because
much.
assumptions can be cooked.
Yes. Thank you,
Yes, thank
Dipanshi.
you.
Yes, Abhijit.
Yeah, so as usual, this was an excellent topic because howsoever your knowledge expertise be, your intention behind that actually gives your expertise a chance to prove itself. And that intention comes when you connect with people at the emotional level. So what I would have as a small feedback is that don't presume. I mean, when you are building a relationship, look for those areas which are non-negotiable and are free of the kind of behavior that are being portrayed at that point in time, because you never know that the behavioral pattern that is coming up, which is against the one that you usually know about this person, you can't keep investigating the reasons behind each. So you have to have a normalized behavior understanding. So that's the reason they call it organization culture, right? That's the reason, right? Otherwise, organization culture has no meaning. So I know the moment I enter my office, these are the non-negotiables with which anyone can interact, be it whatever in my own emotional wavelength. So I might be sad, but people can still come up and but when I know that you are sad, then I may not crack a joke. When I know you are sad, I may not bring a very high priority task. But if I don't know that you are sad, and as part of the organization culture, I can still bring a high priority task and be open up to a certain class of replies which are not in line with your basic personality, because you might have had some emotional turmoil at that point in time because of which it happened. So what I would say is you once you start building the kind of connections at the emotional level, you make it a point to have a non-negotiable list. Now this is not easy, and that is where the organization culture, the HR folks in the organization would have already crafted. So if you work in a very large organization of say around 100,000 people, so you basis geography, you know what are the non-negotiables in terms of talking to these guys at the emotional level, correct? So EMEA would have one sort of behavioral behavioral defaults. Say APAC or Japanese will have a one set of behavioral defaults, US will have one set of behavioral defaults. So once you know these behavioral defaults, then you don't have to worry what is happening at that point in time in a person's mind. And he is also he or she is also alive to this situation, because everyone, see, whatever be your emotional state, work cannot suffer. It can suffer only to an extent of the liberty that has been granted. Okay, that because that is non-negotiable in these times. At least you can have thousands of reasons, and everyone as a human would need space to adjust, because machines don't need to adjust. Either they are working or they are not working. It's still 0 and 1, right? Correct. So but humans have to adjust, and the problem is that the machines are moving in as if they are becoming the next humans. So my would be that instead of assuming, you create these defaults so that you never assume whatever be the state of the person at that point in time, and you work according to the organization culture. Then there are less conflicts, right?
Perfect.
uh,
Yes.
right, so there are less conflicts and you latch up very fast and come to the point, because of which you are collaborating, you are listening, you are talking, you are doing, you are even doing a hand holding, you are departing. maybe you're doing a hand holding, right? And so on and so forth. Yeah, so that is what I had on my mind. I hope you find these pointers useful.
Yeah, thank you
And in
so
Thank
case,
you,
much.
Abhijit.
And basically, I feel that if we actually put assumptions to rest, our work is definitely going to be much easy, because some of the assumptions are actually assumptions, they don't have
so
any base.
so
Absolutely,
in an
absolutely, Dipali. Yes, thank you, Abhijit. Thank you so much. Yes, can we have Rahila, please?
Hi, Dipali.
Hey, Rahila.
Yeah, I think I already got a lot of feedbacks. So yeah, assumption. Yes, the basic thing. Assuming. It goes to overthinking, and finally, we enter into depression sometimes, right?
Right.
That happens, right? It happens, in every part of our life. You keep assuming things, and then you end up, ये तो था ही नहीं what we thought. No, we just exaggerate
Right.
so much,
Right.
right? So yeah, your topic was very good, and the examples you shared, it made us think and obviously walk through actually what it is. I could see it in me. Okay, what she's saying. Okay, I could connect it so well. So it was wonderful, and of course, I liked your endpoint. Assume less, observe more. Then of course, it completes all the chaos, makes
Right.
things easy for us.
Thank you, Rahila. Over to you, Frida.
Dipali, I really liked it because the way you started with the story, and it got me into that mode of visualizing the three characters. And, a lot of times, each one of us in our daily life, we tend to play either of these characters. I mean, depending
Right.
on the situation and the set of people. And so often that it happens to me that you tend to send a message and the message is read, the blue tick is on and the response hasn't come, and you're sitting and thinking, okay, what's going on, and then, I mean, of course, towards the end of the day, you tend to realize that, okay, somebody's missed responding to the message in between all the other clutter of the day. So a lot of times assumptions can be very dangerous, and especially the reaction to that assumption can be very, very dangerous. So I mean, assuming is one thing, but then of course when you respond with that assumption and then you go attacking on that, it's really a very dangerous situation. But it's a very good topic that you touched upon today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frida.
Thank you so much, Frida. Yes, Sujata.
So, hi, Dipali.
Hi, Sujata.
It was indeed a wonderful, discussion point what you shared with us, and the way you took us through all the journey of your presentation. It was really very nice, and we started thinking about, yes, assumption, like on daily basis we do that. And if I talk about workplace, assumptions become barrier, in having a good bond with us, with
Yes.
our colleagues,
Yes.
because assumptions leads misunderstanding, it leads to confusion, and it depends, it shows our mental state also. If we are in a healthy mental state, if we have a positive attitude, we will not do assumption on that level.
Right.
So it shows the in what state you are right now. So it should be taken care of,
Yes.
handled very nicely and in a very clear manner. That yes, over assumption and assumption in a negative manner leads to so many you know
Chaos.
chaos. So yeah, very well presented.
Thank you so much, Sujata.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. It was indeed an excellent presentation, Dipali. Thank you all for your lovely insights. And thank you all for your participation and presence. We'll now move on to the next activity. Yes, we have come to an end with this week's activity. We are going to come up with a brand new activity for next week, and we'll see you then. So it's a sign off from Atalit. Please reset, stay engaged, and continue scoring with the same rigor. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you in the next session.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.